as we jump into this right off the bat, I'm going to have Jonathan put up the old spoiler warning. Just for in case. Now, you guys know that some time ago, we were talking about Avengers Doomsday and the fact that
we've done that.
Yeah. That a couple of us in this room know almost everything that happens in the movie. And I also said a couple of weeks ago that, listen, I've been getting contacted by more and more people who seem to now know what's going on. And I said on the show, I think by July, everything's going to be out there because all these people are finding things out. Now, there's a lot of stuff being reported out there that is totally wrong. Some stuff being reported that is right. But, Rob and I were talking before the show started today. That pace of the leaking has turned into a gush. And I said to Rob this morning, I said, remember how I said I think everything's going to be out there by the end of July? I said, I honestly now think everything's going to be out there by the end of March. Yeah. I really do.
Well, now because you've got all the effects houses working on things.
Yeah. There's just so many now points of release. And I got to admit, and Rob, I texted you a little bit about this earlier this morning. It brings up a philosophical quandary.
Yeah.
Which is, look, if I didn't know what was happening in Doomsday, then I would be picking up on all these topics out there, rumors and reports, and we would be talking about them. Just like all the other outlets now are talking about them. But I felt awkward about talking about them because we do know what happens. I've had some people say, I hate it when you rub it into us so you know what happens. We don't do that. We bring up, we know what happens when people ask questions about Doomsday because we need to be transparent and full disclosure so that there's no, we're not deceiving, right, and we're being above board to make sure you guys know exactly from what position we're speaking of. It's just to have transparency. It's not to rub anything in. We don't bring it up until people ask about Doomsday. And then we say, okay, well, just, of course, we do know what happens in Doomsday. That's for being full disclosure. So I've struggled a lot. I know Rob's has too. We've struggled with when is it okay to talk about something and when is it not? Considering everybody else out there seems to be talking. Now, when it comes to this new particular thing, there's a report going around about at the end of Thunderbolts, when they look up at the screen and they see the Fantastic Four ship, that there are two other characters on that ship other than the Fantastic Four.
No.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just guys like Daniel RPK who have now put it out. A friend of the show, Jeff Snyder, has put it out. You look around at things like this. Superhero Hype has headlines on it. Comic book movies now have headlines on it. On and on and on. I found a whole ton of major outlets, not major outlets as in the Hollywood Reporter, but a lot of the big fan-based outlets were all talking about it. And, Rob, I was so conflicted about this. I even jumped on the YouTube channel this morning and I asked our readers, guys, listen, at what point when a piece of information about the movie is really now getting out there, is it okay for us to talk about? And I got a lot of great feedback and a lot of great input from our viewers. And this one is so out there now everywhere that I figured this is an instance when we can kind of chime in a little bit and say this. So with the spoiler warning up there that Jonathan has, the rumor and the report going around, that is on all these outlets, Daniel RPK, Jeff Snyder, all these guys are putting this out there. The rumor is that on this Fantastic Four ship that we see at the end of Thunderbolts coming to Earth, that along with the Fantastic Four on that ship are two other individuals. Those individuals, so to say all the reports, are Steve Rogers and Dr. Doom.
That's cool.
That's the report. So, at this point, yeah, it is. Everybody, it's out there. Everybody's talking about it. It's now public. So at this point, I'll just say, yeah, it is. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there. Don't be misled into thinking that because this one's real and all the outlets are carrying it, that means everything you've read online is real. Oh, it's not. There's still a lot of nonsense floating around out there. And I'll also say this. Even within the reports about Steve Rogers and Doom being on the ship, there's a bunch of other things about how they're on the ship and why they're on their ship. Totally wrong. At least some of them about why Steve and Doom are on that ship and how they came about to be on that ship. There's some stuff out there that is totally off base. I'm just going to say that. But as everybody else is reporting, yes, they're there. Now, again, I want to reemphasize, there is a lot of other stuff being reported out there about things that are happening in Doomsday that are just not true at all. And I think over the next few weeks, because I was telling Rob, I got contacted last night by somebody said, "Hey, John, is it true that blank, blank, blank?" And I was like, there's no way anybody else, like, that's a major thing that happens in Doomsday. Now, even that's getting out. I stand by it. I think by the end of March, everything about this movie is going to be out there. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I know everything that happens in Doomsday, and I can't wait to see this movie. Like, it just made me more excited. So that might happen with everybody else as well. So anyway, there it is. It's out there. Rob, I think this is it's about more than just the story about certain details now coming out about Doomsday, but it raises a really interesting question for us as fandom, for us as people who do content in our fan circles, about how fast this information is getting out. You pointed out a little bit earlier that, hey, now it's in the post-production phase. That literally means now thousands of more people are working
around
on
the world.
Around the world are in the know now, and every single one of those people represents a point of failure that it can spread to 100,000
But they're
other
also,
people.
they've signed NDAs, you know, and all that.
Yeah, but there's so many people that know it now. It's so hard to track. Anyway, how fast do you think all this information is getting out there? Is this just a part of the new reality of filmmaking that you're just going to have to accept this happens? I don't know. What's your take on this overall?
I mean, it's such a weird thing because one of my most eagerly awaited movies of the year is Project Hail Mary. Well, I read that book. You know, I know everything that comes out. It's not a secret. Anybody can read Project Hail Mary. This, though, you know, the way things are coming out, it seems like I would think that we as film fans would want to keep this stuff secret because the enjoyment of discovery, especially, I would say, in this movie in particular, there is so much joy to be had in it. I often, you know, and so all these little things that people are just dumping all this information out, like, what's the point? I mean, other than getting clicks, I would say I would think we should be doing just the opposite. We should be, as fans, ever vigilant and protect those secrets with our lives. I know that's probably something wishful thinking on my part, but it's like, I went into Endgame, I did everything in the world to not learn anything, and I pretty much went in spoiler free. I didn't watch any of the trailers. I didn't know anything that was going to happen. And I saw Endgame with you on the Disney lot, and it was so enjoyable. That experience was so enjoyable for me because I was truly surprised, and I truly loved it. So I've decided, John, that I'm going to do something about it. We pretty much know everything that happens in this movie. So I have decided I am going to spill all the information I can, but it's all going to be lies. I am no longer going to tell the truth about anything I know about this movie. For instance, I'll give you an example.
You're a Rob variant, aren't you?
What has not gotten out is the reason that Mark Ruffalo, people thought he was being fired, is because Ed Norton's Hulk is coming back.
I knew it.
Along with Terrence Howard's War Machine.
No, Rob, don't let people know that.
They work for Doom. They work
don't
for
spill
Doom.
that.
The X-Men It's during the X-Men Earth is the Age of Apocalypse.
You're breaking
Earth.
my heart, Annie.
And why was Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine? Why did we see the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine in that brief moment? Because it's a tie-in to Avengers Doomsday. I mean, and let's face it, Gwen Stacy, Emma. Why was Emma Stone on the set of Doomsday? She plays Gwen Stacy. Why? She's married to Doom. I mean, I'm just.
He could go all day, folks.
I'm just going to come right out and say it. I've just decided that all I'm going to do for the next 10 months is run a lying disinformation campaign. But every one of my lies has a smidgen of truth. So if they go completely unreported, that means somebody's missing out on something good. So I'll leave it up. I mean, look, my favorite, though, is the 2 days that James Spader, when he was, they were doing the Vision Quest series.
Yes.
And they were doing Doomsday at the same time. How does Doctor Doom get the power to create Battleworld? The Infinity Gauntlet version of Ultron that we saw in What If. That's where Doom gets the template for his Doombots, is from that Ultron, and he takes the Infinity Stones, and that's how he's able to build Battleworld at the end of Doomsday.
You know what this is? This is, what's his name, doing the filibuster in Parks and Rec. Patton
Oswalt.
Yeah, this is Patton Oswalt now doing the thing there. But okay, but look, here brings up an honest conundrum and question that I have to ask myself. As somebody, as one of many movie fans who does a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast, is that, like, once something like this piece of information that we're talking about specifically gets out, at what point do I, as somebody who does this for a living, become now the only outlet that doesn't then talk about it? Like, I learned a very inadvertent but harsh lesson during Tobey Maguire Dickgate.
Yeah.
I got to get that t-shirt made. Look at Toby's dick. I got to get that shirt made. When I put up the pictures, by the way, pictures that had been reported on a year earlier by other outlets.
Yeah.
And I thought the picture was fake because of the lighting in it, but it turned out the pictures were real, pulled them down, but too late. They were already online for 7 minutes and everybody copied and pasted them. So there was that. So, like, when I started finding out about all this stuff about Doomsday, like, the thing I committed to myself is nobody is going to find out any of this from me. No one's going to find out about this from me. No one's going to find out that Doom and Steve Rogers are on the Fantastic Four ship from me. I'm not going to be the one to tell people. But then, as somebody who does a show like this, well, once it is out there and everybody else is talking about it, do I become the only channel that doesn't discuss it? When if I didn't know about everything, I would be discussing it and having conversations and talking while everybody else is free to do it. At what point do I go, okay, I'm not the one who let people know. I'm not the one who put this information out there, but it is out there now. And so do I stick my head in the sand and not discuss it?
Right.
Or now at this
then you
point
seem
that other
disingenuous.
people have put it out, now do I discuss it? And I'm still torn about it, Rob. Like, I still feel conflicted about it a little bit. I still don't really know the right, especially now that we know that all this information is going to start coming out pretty rapidly. So I got to come up with what my general guidelines are going to be pretty damn quick because it's happening faster and faster now. Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Well, the big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. With the football season coming to a close, this is your last chance to jump into football action before next year, and PrizePicks is making it easy by giving you $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. What I've always loved about PrizePicks is how simple it is. You're just picking more or less on player projections, building your lineup, and rooting at home while you watch the game. I also really like their early payouts feature. If a player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out before the game even ends. And with the new social feed, you can follow other players, copy lineups that you like, or use them as inspiration for your own. So don't miss out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Although, it's an interesting conundrum because look, I've read Dune, Messiah, and Children of Dune. There's been 2 miniseries that the Sci-Fi Channel put those, and we don't talk about what's going to happen in Dune. We don't talk about what's happening in Project Hail Mary. And yet somebody could say, you know what I heard about Project Hail Mary? I'm like, you could have read the book. I mean, it's this is a different animal.
It is.
In that this is something that people want. They have an unquenchable desire to know what's going to happen because we are infants, John. We as film fans and as Avengers fans and as superhero fanatics, we are infants. We are children that can't keep our mouths shut.
Well, and with Project Hail Mary and Dune, it's all available. If anybody did want to know, they could just pick up the book and read. Can't do that with this.
I would say this. The only reason that people want to get one over on, the only reason to reveal this information about what this movie is about is to ruin the experience for other people. That's it. Because you're not uncovering something. The movie had a script. They shot it. Actors said the lines. They're doing the visual effects. It's not something that, you're uncovering something that no one knows about. A lot of people know about it. It's out there. But if you have the opportunity to save that experience for other people.
That's not my job. My job is to talk about all the stuff that's out there.
I understand.
That's my job. When you do your show,
but you don't
that's
talk
your
about
job.
plot points about any other movies. Why this one?
Sure I do.
Well, not when you haven't, before you've seen it, it's like we weren't talking about what happens in Zootopia 2 before it came out.
But I mean, when news comes out that so-and-so is making an appearance in this movie, we talk about it. When news comes out that, hey, they shot a big scene at this location, we talk about it.
But that's not a plot point. That's just something that's like somebody starring in it. You're not revealing something in universe.
Well, we haven't revealed any plot points.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that there's a difference. Like if somebody's in a look, we know that if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, that's why Andrew Garfield is pissed at Doom in Doomsday because he's with Gwen Stacy. But sorry. But anyway, these in-universe reveals, we don't want to do that, except the one I just did. But we don't want to do that because that interferes with the actual enjoyment of watching the film. But if they're filming something, we don't know how that person works into the storyline, and if somebody's in a movie, like if we want to look at the IMDb, I don't think that's a secret. I don't think that's a spoiler. That's just a fact.
But different people have different interpretations of what spoiler means.
Right. But if you're talking about a plot point, like for instance, whoever's on this ship and why they're on this ship, that's an actual thing that's in the movie. And the movie's coming out Doomsday, December 18th. Why not wait? Find out then. See what happens. Now, if you want to report on an actor being in you know what? Robert Downey Jr. is playing Dr. Doom. I don't know why. I don't know how, but he came out of Comic-Con.
But do we feel that way really? Because you and I know a couple of actors who are in this movie that we are not telling people about. I'm sure it'll come out. And I don't think either you or I would feel comfortable.
But you know what? That we know that was a secret. Like, for instance, when I saw X-Men Days of Future Past, and I'm friends with Bryan Singer, I went to a screening on the Fox lot with Emma Watts sitting there. And I did not know that Jean Grey and Scott Summers were in the movie. I didn't know that. And I teared up, and if I had known that, I wouldn't have had that experience of tearing up.
See, I did because I saw the live stream of the red carpet and they were on the red carpet.
So I was like, I saw it a couple months before it came out. And I loved that experience. I loved having that experience.
I agree. But let's say for argument's sake, okay, this is not true. Let's say that word got out that Mark Ruffalo was in Doomsday. Okay, so that report came out. Mark Ruffalo is in Doomsday. And let's say you and I knew that was the case, right? So, okay, that's an actor report, and somebody else reports it, and now the whole movie fandom is talking about it. Can we then discuss it? Saying, so, well, somebody else put it out there. It's now out there. It is what it is. It's like you often say, it's not what should, it's what is.
Yeah.
It is out there. At that point, are we going to be the only people in the fan community that don't talk about it? Because it is out there. People know about it whether we talk about it or not. So do we talk about it or do we not? And that's the one I'm struggling with. That's
Yeah.
what I'm wrestling with.
Here's why you're struggling. Because you know. If we were just like
'cause we
everyone
know.
else,
Yeah.
if we were like everyone else and we didn't know, and then it was reported, we'd report on it.
Yeah.
Because
Good
we
example
found
of
out the
that.
same as everyone else. But because you know the truth, you feel a little bit like, should I corroborate this?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I mean,
Yeah,
no one knows that Stephen Dorff's character from Blade's coming back.
Deacon Frost.
Deacon Frost.
Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost is
Will
working with
return in
Doom in this,
Avengers
everybody.
He's been in the void the
Deacon
whole time.
Frost will return in
Yeah.
Doomsday.
I mean, it's
So
pretty
I guess
cool.
just approach it as if you don't know.
That's that. Oh, but is that disingenuous?
No, because you let
Yes.
people know you know, but
I mean, yeah, let people know that I know, but try to approach it like I'm not.
but you
so.
would. But the fact is, you would have reported on it if you didn't know.
So-
yeah.
I think so. This report that is now out there and now everybody knows it. Yes, Doctor Doom is on the ship. Yes, Steve Rogers is on the ship. The accurate information is not out to why they're on the ship, and we're not going to share that. But I guess I would
Well, we
ask
might as
people,
well. I mean,
No, oh, you're going to make up another.
I'm not gonna. I'm not. That's when they travel back in time, and it's not just Steve Rogers. It's the entire invaders from World War II,
Nice.
and it's not the Steve Rogers that we saw in the 616. It's a different Steve Rogers, and they had to travel through time to get him. And you know who else is on the ship? More people from the invaders.
Interesting.
It's true.
And Batman.
No, not he was not part of the invaders. Different company.
That would
Come
be
on, man.
funny if they did put
DC.
Batman on there.
But the invaders' appearance is really cool.
So I guess the question I have for people is the whole premise of the John Campea Show is we are here to be the water cooler. We're here to be the place where all of us as movie fans get around and talk about all the stuff that's going on in the world of movies and the things that everybody else is talking about and what are we buzzing about and what are we chatting about. So when literally the biggest movie there's going to be in the world over the next couple of years is coming out, and other outlets leak the information, and then it spreads, should we then talk about it at that point?
I think if it's out and it's corroborated by other.
Oh, dude, my business manager, oh my God, he laid out a 7-point case about why I should make 8 different videos revealing everything that happens in Doomsday. I'm like, no, not going to do it. But if other people leak it and then it spreads, because there have been leaks, Rob, you and I both know this. There have been some leaks that are real that have come out, but they didn't get any traction and they didn't spread.
Right.
We never talked about them. We never brought them up. We just say, hey, there's some things out there that are totally false. There's some things out there that are true, but we're not going to tell you which is which. But then you get something like this, that it did get traction and everybody starts talking about it. You know, where do we do that? Yeah.
Although I am feeling a little more and more like we're these 3 guys.
You know what? That's one part of the those guys are one part of the Twilight series I actually like.
Yeah.
I love Michael in that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I guess there are really 2 different discussions here. One's kind of personal. The one thing is the reports going around that Doom and Steve Rogers are on that ship. They are. Okay, there's that. I'm not going to say why or how or what it means, but there you go. But the second thing is, it is going to be the biggest film in the world. We are here to talk about being film fans. If information comes out and spreads everywhere, should we then talk about it? Or should we be the only people in the world that don't get to talk about it? That sounded like a leading question. I'm honestly struggling with it. Whatever you guys think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.